Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2. I'm out here in the garage making a little video about some gun builds and parts and things I found. As you guys know, I'm a teacher and I have a couple of days before I have to get back into the grind of everything. But I have some time off this week and I went to a couple of gun stores to pick up some parts for some of my builds or to see what I could find. And I thought I'd share some of those finds with you guys and where I'm going with things. You guys know I have the Mark 12 Mod 0 build going. I still need just a few parts for that. Colt, bolt carrier, and bolt. I need the cap ring for the rail for the arms number 22. Scope rings. I couldn't find any of those. I went to Rifle Gear in the Colony and I went to Bauer Precision in Denton. And normally Bauer Precision is the place to go to get some of these clone parts, but unfortunately they're out. They're doing their best to get new stuff in, but they said that the ARMS Incorporated stuff is just unobtainium right now for some reason. The flow of parts from them has gone to almost zero. So I guess we just have to wait and see what happens. But I was able to pick up some parts for some of my other projects, and you guys know I've been talking about changing over some parts on my or what used to be my 9mm pistol that I amnesty registered that everybody hated it. And I talked about, I had this 9mm barrel that I got a casing stuck in, still in there. And I was like, you know, maybe this is a sign for me to go in a different direction. And I thought to myself, I would kind of go in the direction of maybe like a Colt SMG, maybe kind of a retro thing, but I'm not trying to be like, you know, perfect with it because I already got a Colt SMG clone. Actually made by Colt, 9mm SBR thing. I was like, this is going to be a fun gun. So it's going to be kind of a mix of A1, A2, kind of have a retro look, but maybe a little bit on a budget, but not super cheap like I made with my original gun. I've been putting all the parts in here, and one of my subscribers, Earl, sent me these awesome triangle handguards for the carbine length, which I'm going to use. I just need to find a barrel with the A-pillar front sight, which I did find one on Rock River Arms, but I'm not sure how their front sight is attached. I need to email them. I'm not a big fan about buying from Rock River because they're one of the companies in Illinois that worked with the gun controllers. So I have some issues with that. But they seem to be the only place that has a Colt SMG copy of a barrel, and I can't find any of the Colt barrels anywhere. Going through my parts bin, I found an A1 style Delta ring, so this is the flat one, not flanged. And I'm going to use the old four-prong flash hider I had on the other build. I got my upper receiver here. In fact, I should probably go ahead and get this out because I'm going to talk about it in just a second. But I bought a few other parts that I'm going to change out, and I thought that I would show you guys. Maybe do it here on camera. So I'm going to go, as I said, with more like a Colt SMG kind of retro look. So right now I got these Magpul and they're gray, which is a cool color. But I got the stock as well. So I am going to replace the stock with something. So I'm going to take that off. And I am going to replace the grip. So I'm going to go with more of a military look. So at Bauer Precision, they had an A2 grip, which they gave me. Because believe it or not a lot of places sell just an A2 grip. Usually you got to buy these as part of a parts kit. But they gave that to me, so I have an A2. I would have liked to have found an A1, but A2s are fine. It's still the military look. And they had in stock one of these plastic AR-15 kind of original, like Vietnam era looking stocks. So designed for a mil-spec buffer tube. I was like, that's what I want to put on this. So that is what I'm going to do. And there you go. Yeah, that's, I think, a much better look for what I'm going for. And I'm going to replace this grip as well. So one of the best tools I ever bought for this is a 3/16 ball, I guess, wrench. And it's on this long drive, so I can get these grip screws out of the receivers really, really easy. So we'll go ahead and change this out real fast and see what that looks like. I don't know why, but just searching for parts for builds is so much fun. It can be frustrating because it's easy to get very impatient. And I find that when it comes to my own builds, this is where I make most of my mistakes, is when I get impatient, because I'll make a decision that I regret later. I'll buy a part that's not right, or I'll buy a cheaper part or something that's not perfect just because I want it now. And I'm trying to do better with that. I'm trying to be patient and realize that it's not always about the destination. Sometimes it's just about the journey. So that's the path I'm on some of these builds right now. Of course, make sure to get your safety selector detent spring out of the old grip. Let me wipe this down real fast. And then let's put on this new grip. Spring back in. All right. That's going to fit. And actually, I think this is sometimes the hardest part of putting these grips in, is getting the screw to start. Let's see. And I think I got it. You know, as you build more of these rifles, and you do this so many times, you actually get pretty fast at a few things. You realize there's tricks, things you can do. I know if you're building your first AR, there's a lot to learn, and it can take you a while. But there you go. So with an A2 grip and a AR-15 stock on that, that's a little bit more of a retro military look. As I said, I'm not going for perfection on this one. This is just kind of an A2, A1, you know, thingy. It's all it is. So that's what that is. I also purchased a GI trigger guard. Now the trigger guard I have on this lower right now is a Magpul one, and it's gray. Just kind of match the furniture of the other stuff, which of course I'm going to save all this stuff. I'll probably use it maybe in a future build and add it to my big parts bin. But I'm going to replace that with a standard GI one. Now this one is made of polymer. The ones the military use are aluminum. It doesn't really matter. So let me change this thing out. Hope I'm not boring you guys. You know, I think that's one of the strengths of my channel, is that I have such a variety of content that hopefully I'm a bunch of different things to different people. And that sometimes I talk about news and commentary and what's going on in the gun world, and then sometimes I do build, sometimes I talk about retro stuff. Man, I gotta find this Allen wrench. I thought I had it there with the smallest one at the very beginning. I'll double check that one more time. No, that's still too small. Too big. These Magpul trigger guards use an Allen screw for the front, where the military ones use a little button, and those buttons are super easy. I do prefer the buttons. I know a lot of people don't take off the trigger guard. A lot of people don't know that, but on a GI trigger guard, there's a little button right here which you can depress with like the tip of a bullet. You push that in, you can drop the trigger guard, so in the wintertime, if you have big, heavy gloves, you can actually get your finger into the trigger guard. That's what it's designed for. Most people don't know that and don't use it like that, but that is what it is designed for. All right, here's another small wrench. Maybe if I can get it. All right, that one's probably going to be too big. You know, I should probably mark most of these and write down what size fits where. Otherwise, I end up having to dig through these things every single time. That one's too small. Oh boy. I may have to do this one later off camera if I can't find it. Wait, I found it. There we go. And once again, I'm sorry about the hum in the background. I got my fan on just because it's like 106 degrees today. All right, so take out that little screw. All right, now I got to punch out the roll pin. Now this is probably going to be annoying for you guys because my phone is right there on the workbench. So you'll probably hear this. And I'm sorry, it's going to be a big old thud. Oh, where did I put my little hammer? Alright, so once again, I'm sorry if this is annoying to you. So prepare, you might have to turn your volume down if you're listening to me with a subwoofer. But here we go. And I think I got it. Yep, there we go. And now that trigger guard comes right off, and put that over there. Alright, so we wipe this all out. And let's put in this new one. I can just use the same roll pin. I'll put the front in first. With a little button, see? And let me find my roll pin setter. I'm going to tell you guys, one of the best investments I ever had in my gunsmithing toolbox are these roll pin punch holders. So they're not punches themselves, but you can see they have a little hole in there. Put that roll pin in there, and it holds it steady, so you don't have to like use your fingers, and you also don't damage the end of the roll pin. It makes putting these things in so much easier. I don't know why for so long I never bought a set. I know a lot of you guys probably are very aware of them, but I wasn't. Until a friend of mine showed me them and was like, oh my gosh, that is a game changer. And you get going as far as you need. Now it's set, and then all I gotta do is finish the roll pin. Make sure it's even on both sides. We are good. Alright, so there you go. So now it has a mil-spec trigger guard, and as I was saying before, if you had gloved hands in the winter and you can't get your finger into that trigger guard, you can push that little button down, and then the trigger guard will pop down just like that, and then you can reach in there, use the trigger, and then all you gotta do if you want to put it back is just push that little button and it goes right back. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. It's kind of ingenious. So there is my my lower for this 9mm build, and yes, I do use the K&N non-rotating pin set. I'm actually thinking about making another video about that because I believe in these things, and every time I talk about them, I know there's a few videos out there where they talk about not necessarily K&S, but non-rotating pins or anti-walk pins, and there's some people that are huge detractors against them, and there are some understandable things that people say, well, they do this, they don't allow the pins to rotate, the gun was designed to have the pins to rotate. Okay, fair enough. But there's also myths out there where people say, oh, it compresses the receiver. Number one, you're not going to compress this receiver. I don't care. These little screws, if you have enough pressure with these little tiny Allen wrenches to compress that aluminum, you're the Incredible Hulk. But the actual distance on those pins, there's actually, I know it's not going to come across here, even though they're super tight, there's actually a space between them. So the pins are actually a little bit longer than the receiver. So you can tighten those down as far as you want, and they're not even really touching the receiver. So there are myths about it, and I need to make a video about that. But anyway, there's my lower receiver. So there's that. I still can't complete the upper receiver because I don't have the barrel, but I did because I got those triangle handguards, and I have that A1 style delta ring. I needed a delta ring spring and a snap ring. So that's what I picked up from Rifle Gear, like $3 and $1.99. I think that's the cheapest I've ever gotten out of Rifle Gear. So I bought that for when I actually get the barrel. So why did I put trash in here? So that is going to go with the build. Alright, so there's that. That's for another day. Then, the last thing I wanted to do, I got it for a good price, is I wanted to, I know I have the front sights right now just on this to prevent from losing them, but I was using Magpul sights in that original build, but because I'm going with a Colt SMG style retro build, I wanted to get a carry handle. Yeah, this is a detachable carry handle. This one's made by Luther, and it's like $100. Not bad. Attaches to the Picatinny rail. These things can go for a lot of money, especially if they're like ones from Colt, but literally they're the same castings, whether they're from Luther or another company. You get the A2 rear sights, which honestly, I think are some of the best sights the AR-15 and M16 ever had. The A2s are far superior to the A1s because you get windage and elevation adjustments. So I'm going to put this on the upper receiver. So we'll change that out. And let's see here. One of these hopefully will take off these Magpul rear sights. Yeah, once again, I gotta mark these Allen wrenches. I got so many of these things. Every time I buy a part that uses an Allen wrench, I use it for a little bit, and then I just throw them in my boxes. I got this box, and I got a whole nother box of them. All right, so that one is too small. I thought it was gonna fit. Okay, that one I think is right. Yep, there it is. So let's take these off. All right, whoops. Okay, let's kind of wipe them down. And let's put the carry handle on the upper receiver. These things were popular for a while, and now nobody wants to use them because everyone wants the flat tops, and I understand. But if you like that retro look, but still want the option of putting on optics later, you can go this route. I gotta do this right. There we go. And then let's tighten that down. I can always take that off later when I install the barrel. Give me some more room. But now I have the upper receiver with a carry handle and the rear sight. So now, honestly, all I need for this build is the barrel. I need the barrel with the front sight, and I got to replace or take the front sight off to put on the triangle handguard cap. And the barrel should come with a barrel nut, a GI mil-spec barrel nut. And once I have that, I think I'm ready to get this gun back in action. So anyway, that's what's going on around here. I just wanted to share some of this with you. I love going on this journey and working on guns. And yeah, it's just such a cool hobby. It's kind of like Legos for adults, even though I do like Legos. On a side note, I saw that Lego is releasing a set of the Concorde. I recently built the big Titanic set. I could have bought another gun for the price I paid for that set. But I have it displayed in the house. Yeah, I'm a total nerd. I'm a total nerd. I think I need to give you guys eventually another tour of my safe room where you guys can see my safes and all my Legos. Yeah, I'm a complete dork. Complete dork. I like the icons, like the cars, not the Technique sets, but the cars. So I have like the Back to the Future DeLorean, the '69 Camaro, the '67 Mustang. I got the Porsche 911. They just came out with a '61 Corvette, which I need to get. And then I like the space stuff. I got the Saturn V rocket, the International Space Station. I got the Titanic, which is gigantic. It's I guess the largest set by volume they've ever released. And not by piece. I think that's the Coliseum. But largest set by volume. And then I got all the Star Wars sets, like all the Ultimate Collector Edition sets. So anyway, yeah, I'm a complete dork. Complete dork. I know you guys watch my videos and think he's a nerd. And the truth is, I'm a nerd. I'm pretty nerdy. So anyway, that's where this build kind of currently is. So I know I don't have a barrel, but let me show you what this is going to look like if everything was together on it. So there's the lower and the upper coming together. I just need that 9mm barrel. I got the handguard and everything else to install it. And then this will be a lot different than it was when I had my kind of catastrophic issue with it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video talking about gun parts. And are you guys working on any builds of your own? And do you guys enjoy the process of building? Sometimes I'll just deconstruct my own builds because I want to do something else with them. I don't know. It's a never-ending thing. So anyway, thanks for spending a little bit of time here in the garage with me. If you watched to the end and could handle me talking like this for a while, talk about or use the word Allen wrench in the description, because I know you guys saw to the end, and I got to label these. I got to mark these. I got so many of them lying around, and it just takes me so long to figure out the right size. So anyway, do you guys like the progress of this build and where it's going and what I'm doing with it? So let me know in the comments as always. So as always, thanks for watching.